Hi everyone, and welcome back with Mrs. Struble. In this video, we're going to talk about angles of triangles. Let's start off with identifying what are interior angles and what exactly are exterior angles when we're talking about a triangle. The way we look at a triangle is it's a polygon that's created using three sides. These three sides can be extended in the form of lines to create more than just the three angles that we see inside the polygon. So the angles inside the polygon are what we call the interior angles. But when we extend those lines, we have now created what we call the exterior angles. Now the exterior angles are just the angles that touch the inside angle. Okay, so the exterior angles are highlighted as such. When we have a triangle, we have 6 exterior angles. Both the interior and the exterior angles have certain properties. You may have already heard of the interior angle sum theorem, which states that all of the angles of any triangle add up to 180 degrees. So let's take a look at the exteriors. The exterior angles theorem states that the exterior angle that we are talking about is equal to the sum of the two opposite interior angles, or non-adjacent. Okay, we use the word non-adjacent as in it's not touching that exterior angle. So each exterior angle is adjacent to one interior angle. Okay, the angles that it's not adjacent to, when you add them together, that's what you get for the sum of the exterior angle. If you think about it, it kind of makes sense, because if all three of them add up to 180 degrees, well, this exterior angle Z is supplementary of this angle. Let's call it A. Right? So A minus Z equals 180. Or excuse me, A plus Z equals 180. But A plus these two also equal 180. So X plus Y has to add up to equal Z. Let's take a step further in this and do an example. Let's start with the interior angles. So like I stated, if I know two angles, I can identify the measure of the third. So in A and B here, we are needing to identify or find the measures of the missing angle. All we need to do is simply write our equation in order to identify what the missing value is. We know that 32, for example, in the first one, plus 48 plus whatever x is, all add up to 180 degrees. So now it's just a simple solve for x. Okay? You could combine like terms, or constants, over on the left-hand side, and we get 80 degrees plus x equals 180. And most of us from there can see that x has to equal 100. Otherwise, just subtract 80 from both sides of the equal sign, and you still get x equals 100 degrees. So that missing angle is 100. Now let's take a look at B. B is a little more complicated, but we still use the same theorem. All three angles added together equal 180. This red box signifies a right angle. A right angle is 90 degrees. Go ahead and add that to the other two. We have one angle that's equal to x plus 28, so we're just going to write that in. And then our third angle is equal to x. All three of these angles added together, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, equal 180. Now we can combine like terms and solve the equation. 90 and 28 is 118. X plus x is 2x. 118 plus 2x equals 180. Continuing to solve, subtract 118 from both sides of the equal sign, we get 2x is equal to 62. Divide by 2, and we found the value of x is equal to 31. Coming back up here, if x is equal to 31, what is the measure of each interior angle? Well, if x is equal to 31, then this one is 31 degrees. But what about the x plus 28? You would simply take 31 plus 28, just as it says, x plus 28, and you would get this angle to be equal to 59. Do a quick check, make sure you got it all correct. We have 90 plus 59 plus 31 equals 180, so we know we're good. Why don't you give it a shot? Pause the video, try these two problems out. Now that you've tried them on your own, let's go over the answers. On number 1, angle A and angle B are given to us. The value of angle C, therefore, was 74 degrees. In other words, angle X, or X equaled 74 degrees. For number 2, you were given angle B was equal to 43 degrees. However, the other two angles were described in values of X, which was an unknown value. Once you solved for X, you found that X equaled 86. Since X equals 86, we know that angle A is also 86 degrees. Then we can find angle C by taking 86 minus 35 to get 51 degrees. Here's another example. Using the exterior angles theorem, we can find missing values within a triangle here, or outside of a triangle rather, either way. We do have to remember this point. Each vertex has a pair of congruent exterior angles. However, it is common to show only one exterior angle at each vertex. Here's what that means. We have to remember that at each corner of the triangle, there consists 2 exterior angles. And if you remember from the diagram, it looks a little bit like such. Okay, so here is the missing one. Now, both of these exterior angles here, this one and the one already noted as X are congruent because they're vertical angles. That's why we generally only draw one out. Okay, let's go ahead and walk through this. We know that the value of the exterior angle is equal to the sum of the non-adjacent interior angles. In other words, for A, 36 plus 72 equals X. We have an equation that we can solve. Solving this, we have simply X is equal to 108. In this case, X is an angle measure, so it's degrees, 108 degrees. Let's try B. Again, we have an exterior angle. We're going to use the exterior angle theorem of a triangle in order to find the value of A. So let's write our equation. 80 plus the second non-adjacent angle is A minus 5 is equal to the exterior angle of 2A. Now we have an equation where there is a variable on either side of the equal sign. In order to solve this, first, let's combine like terms, and then we can move the variable onto either side of the equal sign. We have 80 minus 5 gives us 75. Those are our constants, so we combine them. So 75 plus a is equal to 2a. I see an a on both sides of our equal sign. So we're going to have to combine these by undoing 1 from one side and putting it onto the other. So we're going to subtract a from both sides, moving the values of our variable over to the right-hand side of the equal sign. Okay. 2a minus 1a, that gives us just 1a. We find that a is equal to 75. Now that we know the value of a, we can move back up to the diagram in order to find the missing angle measures. If a is equal to 75, then 2a, 2 times 75, gives us 150 degrees. Also, we can find the a minus 5 degree angle. Take 75 minus 5, and we get 70. Let's let you give it a shot. Pause the video, try this problem, and I'll be back with the answers. Now that you've tried the problem, let's go over the answer. The measure of the exterior angle y was 70 degrees. Now, hopefully this one was fairly easy for you, because all you had to do was remember that the exterior angles theorem said to take the two non-adjacent interior angles and add them together. So 30 plus 40 was 70 degrees. In this video, we practiced writing equations in order to find missing angle measures for both the interior and exterior angles of any given triangle. We also talked about the different properties in order to write those equations of interior and exterior angles. Thanks for joining me. Until next time, this is Mrs. Struble with Struble Math. See ya!